Hello, everybody. Well, Nike has done it again, or rather, oops, they've done it again to be all Britney Spears on Nike. Nike's waded into controversy by releasing its Air Max 1 USA sneakers with the so-called Betsy Ross flag with 13 stars in a circle. So let's leave aside the politics of whether the flag is racist or not, and let's look at the controversy and what this teaches us about marketing in general and Nike marketing in particular. I've got links in the YouTube description if you need background on the particulars, but let's just recap what's going on. So Nike released a new sneaker design just in time for Independence Day, and it featured the so-called Betsy Ross flag on the back. You can do a quick Google search and look at images. But apparently, the Betsy Ross flag has, to some unclear extent, become associated with racism and white nationalism. Now, it's not entirely clear one way or another, and I've got some links and you can read up on that. But let's leave aside that issue and let's just be objective and realize that Nike made a decision to use this flag, and sort of point B, for some people, it's considered racist. It's controversial. That's a fact. Let's look at the marketing issues involved with this flag. So first of all, let's think about, what does this tell us about marketing at Nike? It seems like really poor planning on Nike's part. I mean, the shoes were already in production. They were already shipped to retailers, and only then did their spokesperson, Colin Kaepernick, get involved and claim that they were racist, and then they were pulled from retail production. They're even selling right now for several $1,000s on various sites on the internet as sort of a scarcity item. So the sort of first takeaway here as a marketer is, hello, do your planning. I mean, who was involved in the market research at Nike before these shoes even went into production? I mean, a little bit of Googling would have gone a long way at figuring out that this was going to be a controversial decision. So it really speaks to doing research before you market something or you put something into production. That's takeaway number one. The second marketing takeaway here, I think, is the problematic nature of celebrity spokespeople. So let's leave aside whether you like Kaepernick or you hate Kaepernick or you're indifferent to Kaepernick or whatever, but you have to kind of ask yourself, is Nike being smart by giving one person so much power over their brand? Kaepernick is his own person. He has his own personal brand. He has his own political agenda. And the tighter that Nike becomes associated with him, the more power he has over the brand. Now, that might work out okay for now, but who knows how it will work out in the future. Take a look at Jared Fogle and how that worked out for Subway if you want to do a little Googling. So the second takeaway here is to think long and hard and do your research before you embrace a brand ambassador. We're not sure how this is going to end with Nike and Kaepernick. Who knows? Third, let's talk a little bit about whether Nike is actually sort of crazy smart in this whole controversy. Maybe this was all thought through in advance. Maybe they want the controversy to get people to talk about the brand. The idea being all publicity is good publicity, or so goes the theory. Sort of related to this is maybe they want to associate their brand with this sort of a leftist political agenda. And many people, many pundits, are pointing out that the people who are offended by this retractment on the sneakers are not necessarily the people who purchase Nike sneakers. The sales are up, the stock is up, so maybe it's a smart decision to, one, stir up the controversy and get people talking, and two, to associate Nike with this sort of progressive leftist political agenda. I mean, who knows? The third takeaway, though, here is to think about, is all publicity good for your brand or only some publicity? I mean, Nike seems to be betting that all publicity is good for their brand. Finally, let's talk a little bit about politics, right? We live in a divisive political climate, right? Politics seems to be engulfing everything, and there are lots of brands, Google, Apple, Nike, Starbucks, that are sort of taking sides in the culture wars. Now, the question for you as a marketer is Is this something you want to do? You know, politics is a dirty, nasty, bitter game in which a lot of mud flies and a lot of costs are incurred. So I would say the fourth takeaway in this controversy is to ponder, do you really want to become a political brand? I mean, there are some costs to being so politicized. You know, the big companies can do this and survive it, but I'm not sure small companies can survive this in all circumstances. So as a smaller, medium-sized company, you might think long and hard before embracing political controversies one way or the other, right? I mean, do your research and be wary of politics. Be wary of predicting the future. The future, by its very nature, is uncertain. So there's our 4 takeaways from this current Nike brouhaha over the Betsy Ross flag. Take a look at the resources. Take a look at the hashtags on Twitter. And I think ponder as a marketer, what does this teach us about marketing? What can we take away from Nike's exposure as a big brand on this issue? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff.